L'chaim, l'chaim. And one last time, just spread and then guide us. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'ha'amideinu malkeinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Yishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asut et ha-Shabbat v'dorotam b'ritolam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafas. As we rise for Hatfilah to open the ark, we call on Alan Bennett and Gary Cooper. Adonai sifetai tiftach ufi agiti latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh HaKol V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevigu Livnei V'Neihem L'Ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Hoser U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibur Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Melech Mimit U'Mechaye U'Matzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh Ukdoshim B'chol Yom Hallelu Selah Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Praised are you, Adonai, the holy God. We continue in silence. Al Yisrael Tasim את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה We spend a moment praying for a refuah shlema, a complete and total healing for our congregants Doris Handel, Lisa Kaufman, Carol Mortman, Carol Siegel, Mark Stewart, Nadine Wenzel. We also offer prayers to these family and friends of TBEI, David Austin, Michael Becker, Darlene Brofman, Miriam Cassell, Amy Connolly, David Dichter, Jeffrey Farrenbach Breitman, Mara Cooperman, Ashley McGregor, Cookie Romeo, Jackson T. Wynn II, Beverly Ziv, and Ricky Ziv. If there are other names to share, please feel free to rise and share them with us. We also share our thoughts for all those in harm's way, all those fighting for the security and lives of innocents around the world, those under the thumb of the oppressor, and those in need of healing, be it physical, spiritual, or emotional. We sing for all of them. Mi sheberach avoteinu mikor habracha li'imoteinu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Yisheberach Imoteinu Mikor Habracha Le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We've come to an amazing juncture in our yearly circle, something the Talmud calls the Ma'agal Choser, a circle with no end. And in fact, the reading of Torah provides no end. And yet, it has to stop someplace, but it doesn't, because you know on Simchas Torah we read the last word of Deuteronomy in the beginning of Genesis, and theoretically we don't stop to breathe because the teaching and learning never ends. And yet, our ancestors felt that you couldn't read it once and one and done. You had to hear it every week for your entire life. Think about that. When I was about 14, I went away to a summer work camp. It was an experiential place, and it was an amazing thing. And that happened to have just been the year by fluke that the Hobbit book came out. And being kids, somebody got a hold of the book, and we all went nuts and read the book. And you're talking in the 1960s. And we made a decision amongst us that once every 10 years, we would individually or collectively reread the book to see how the book changed over the years. Well, the book doesn't change. We do. I don't know where those people went. I've never seen them again. But I do know that every decade I buy a new copy of The Hobbit, and I sit and I reread it. And every time I do, it's as if I am reading a different book. Why? Because it is a different human being reading the book. Well, this week, we read the end of the Joseph story and the end of the Jacob story. They both die in this week's portion. And it starts out with the death of Jacob. And Jacob calls his sons together and says, do me a favor. Don't bury me in this dump. It's going to become Egypt for another 2,500, 3,500 years. Just leave me wrapped up till you can take me home to my ancestors. And bury me in the cave at Machpelah with my ancestors, Abraham and Isaac and their wives and various and sundry others, who according to our tradition are all buried in the same spot. They're all buried in the cave at Machpelah, and you probably remember the story that Abraham insisted on buying it and paying for it in cash so that when he buried his family, he'd be a property owner, so that when we went back to Canaan, we wouldn't be ger v'toshav. We wouldn't be resident aliens. We would actually be landowners. Well, Joseph basically does the exact same thing. Says to his children, I realize I've been the grand poobah here, second in command, but don't leave me here for them. Wrap me up, mummify me, and when you go back to our home, take me with you. It's an intriguing concept because, as you know, the Jews, the Israelites, are in Egypt for just about 480 years. And it says, and 500 years later, give or take a little bit, there arose a king who knew not Pharaoh, a king who knew not Joseph. No, a long time. I'm talking about 450 years, give or take. Depends on how you want to play the math. So what does this week's portion do for us? It is what I call the grand mechitza, the grand divider. Genesis talks about creation and takes us up till the death of Joseph, and more importantly, the death of Jacob. We only got 3 patriarchs: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Which means that this week, as we read the end of Genesis and recite the words, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek, be strong, and be filled with courage, we are actually saying goodbye to the story of our patriarchs. That's already sold and done. The story of our patriarchs is now being packaged and sold to Netflix because we got a forward journey to make. Who is we? We are the Israelites. And if you try this year to make this definitive connection as we go along, we're moving into the future of the Israelite people. We're going to stop becoming Israelites, and soon we're going to start to be called them Jews. Different concept. And so we need to stop for a minute, just a minute, and go, what does that mean to me? What does it mean that we are now compartmentalizing our beginning and now stepping forward into the creation of us as a people, a peoplehood that has lasted to this very Shabbat? And we haven't finished the work yet. It's stunning. But Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Rachel, Leah, actually Rebecca, all of them, except Rachel. Rachel is not buried in the cave at Machpelah. If you remember, she died on the way. And she died and was buried in Bethlehem. Becomes a very important site to Christianity and to the Muslims as well in Bethlehem, the house of bread, Lechem. But it's all fascinating. Our world is about to change. From now to Rosh Hashanah, we will be the Gerim Toshavim. We will be the Ger Toshav. We will be the wanderers, stopping here, stopping there, stopping in the next place on our entire journey. Exodus will take up Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. At the end of Numbers, if you're paying attention, you'll see that Moses dies. Kind of interesting. Because in Deuteronomy, he's going to give three major league sermons. That's what the book of Deuteronomy is. And all he's going to do is recapitulate Exodus, some of Leviticus, and Numbers. He's going to retell the story and the obligations and commitments of the Jewish people, of the Israelites who traveled the journey with him. So, as we come to that breaking point, the break from the past to, we could make a case easily that this is our current. We're still in motion. We're still in motion. We didn't get to any new era yet. but we have to turn the lights on and move forward. We need to be better. And we need to move to the forward being better while remembering the past and remembering what happened to us. And we need to walk away every time we say that. Every time we finish a book, we say chazak, chazak. But every time we think about what happened to us on our journey to bring us to this place, we have to say, God forbid, we should impose somebody else with what we went through. That's what Pesach, which is coming, is going to remind us of. I had a meeting with somebody this week, and we were talking, and she said she was Christian and raised in Christian schools. She doesn't go to church anymore because she doesn't believe that stuff. I said, oh, which part don't you believe? She says, oh, pretty much all of it. And she said to me, what do you see as one of the biggest differences? Me. And I said, how we view the Torah, the Old Testament. She said, well, isn't the Old Testament the Old Testament? Thank you very much. You know, different versions, but in the same thing. And I said, well, it is to some people. You see, but some people believe that they can simply redact anything they don't like and move ahead with whatever they think the image and the answers are, with no collusion with the truth, or what's the focus point of what's really going on in that book. If God wrote it, how come there's so many conflicting stories? If God wrote it, how come it's so confusing and unclear? And she looked at me and she said, that's why I don't go to church anymore. And I said, well, why don't you come over to the temple? We'd love to have you. I'll put you in a conversion class because you believe a lot of what we believe already. Well, I hear you people charge dues. We need to become more focused on who we are, but not just who we are, but why we are who we are. We need to pay attention unless we are spiritually too poor to pay attention. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to tonight's service. And if you're watching online, welcome. Thank you to Eve and Len Epstein for providing tonight's oneg in honor of their birthdays, and happy birthday to both of you. Our nominating committee will be meeting before the end of the month to select a slate of officers for the coming year. If you want to be on the board, please get an application form from the office and get it back to the nominating committee as soon as you can. Music bingo is tomorrow night. You can still buy a ticket. Brotherhood will have a fundraising dinner at the Recovery Grill in Division on Wednesday, February 5th from 4 to 8 p.m. The Sisterhood Card Party is Tuesday, February 18th. And we'll have a doo-wop show here on March 8th with Shavuot. And there are flyers in the lobby and online and all the notifications that are sent out. So read what gets sent out so you know what's going on here. And I hope you'll join us for all our events. Shabbat Shalom.
And also, as we prepare to move to conclude the service, please be aware that the Megillah reading this year will be preceded by some small Friday night event, which is going to be good. We are probably going to have a matzo ball toss, a potato latke throw. See how far you can skip it over the water. Followed by the Megillah reading on that Friday night, March 14th. So please begin to prepare your costumes, and I am asked to notify you that there is a 2 Esther maximum at the event. So give some thought to who else you'd like to be for the evening besides yourself. As we move to the Aleinu, we call on Even Len Epstein. Aleinu l'shabach l'adon ha'kol, lateit gedula liyotzir b'reishit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, v'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshav Yekaro B'Shamayim Mima'al, Ushchinatu Zo, B'Gavei Miromim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Emet Malkeinu Epesulato Kakatu Mato Viadata Yom Vashevota Elivavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Bashamayim Ima'al Ve'aretz Ya'aretz Mitachad ein od V'ne'emar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol ha'aretz Bayom Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo Ushemo echad, Ushemo echad. The light of memory. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו. בעלמא דברה חירותי ימליך מלכותי. בחייך וביומך וחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבא מברך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקדושה. לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה. תאמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all Israel, to which we say amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemekrai kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim b'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. He thinks it's going to save him money on medication. Whew. What is that, Manischewitz last Wednesday? Yuck. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Bless our lives, our children, and our families. Bless all of those who have lost their way. Bring peace to all who seek a world of beauty. Give blessings, God, to all these today. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house with love. Amen and amen. May God bless this house. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.